Today's discussion's topic is Empowering Recovery, the integrated role of rehabilitation specialists in patient-centered care. In this discussion, we explore how rehabilitation specialists, particularly neurophysiotherapists, collaborate and deliver holistic patient-centered care. I would like to welcome Dr. Radha, Professor and HOD, Neurophysiotherapy Department at Sancheeti Institute College of Physiotherapy. She has a special interest in acute and chronic neurological rehabilitation. Today, she will give us a better insight as to why and how these therapies are crucial to a patient's recovery and how the integrated rehabilitation plans can significantly enhance patient outcomes. What role does physiotherapy play in the rehabilitation process, particularly for patients recovering from major surgeries or strokes?
Great question. Actually, physiotherapists play a great role in the surgeries, post-surgery and pre-surgery rehab. Actually, pre-surgery rehab is what we call something as prehab, and usually it is done for elective surgeries or planned surgeries like reconstruction surgeries, TKR, THRs. These are the surgeries, cardiac surgeries, which are planned one. So there we can even also do pre-rehab of a patient, which is called as prehab, so that the patient is prepared for the surgery and post-surgery recovery. Coming to your exact question about post-surgery role of a physiotherapist, physiotherapy play a very vital role post-surgery for the recovery of patient. So the therapist plays a role with respect to pain management, early mobilization, and research has proven the more is the early mobilization, better is the recovery chances. But definitely in consensus with the surgeon, taking in account how early you can mobilize the patient, early mobilization is preferred one. They play a role in preventing complications, regaining mobility of the patient, improving cardiovascular endurance, improving strength, and thus make the patient back to his normal life. So I think that's a very important role, and that's what all the patient needs to go back to their previous lifestyle.
How would you tailor your therapy approach to meet individual needs for your patients?
Again, I would say this is a very apt question and much needed one in this current time. What I believe and what is said is a good physiotherapist will treat the patient rather than treating the condition only or the disease only. So we have to deal with a biopsychosocial model and treat the patient as a whole. See, every patient is a unique patient, and every patient will have their unique needs, what they expect from us. What we do is we are focusing on patient-centric goal setting rather than therapist-centered goal setting. What's the difference between both of them is when we are talking about patient-centric goal setting, it's the patient, family members, caregivers who are the main stakeholders or who are mainstay to discuss what they want along with the physiotherapist. And then the physiotherapist and the patient combinedly formulate a goal. While on the contrary, therapist centered goal is something which I feel this is important for my patient to gain, and I tailor my intervention accordingly. So the current trend and the expected trend, what a physiotherapist needs to do is always set a goal which is patient centric. If my patient, for an example, wants that he should be able to go and do grocery shopping, I should focus on that particular thing. I should see to it why my patient is not able to do that. What are the impairments or what are the problem areas because of which he or she is not able to do it? Is it gait at the problem? Is it balance at the problem? Dual tasking at the problem? Or is it confidence which is at the problem? Or is it an amalgamation of all these things which is at a problem? And focus and treat those areas which were making my patient not able to go to the market and do grocery shopping. And if I achieve that for my patient and I design my intervention after identifying the impairments which are responsible or which are responsible for hindering my patient by for doing this specific task, I would see to it that I train that. If balance and confidence were my problem, I will retrain my patient for balance and confidence and see to it that the patient goes and do grocery shopping, and that's what when I will call it as the goal is achieved. And this is how I think we need to uniquely design a protocol for every patient, because their demands, their expectations are different, their problems are different, and any condition which will affect every individual in a different way. I hope that answered your question.
Can you please discuss a case where a collaboration with either maybe a speech therapist or an occupational therapist was crucial in helping you achieve a positive outcome for the patient?
Definitely, I would say any rehab for that matter is always a collaborative approach. It needs a multidisciplinary team for a patient to cover up and come to his previous functional status. I remember one of our patient who was a stroke survivor. Actually, he had a combination. When we assessed him, we found that he had a combination of ideomotor and limb kinetic apraxia. Actually, apraxia is a neurological condition or a symptom that we see where a patient, when you see the movements, he is able to do absolutely all the movements. But when asked specific thing, for example, he has full shoulder range, he has full elbow range, he has full finger movements and everything. But when asked to replicate a specific movement, to lift a bottle, to dial a number, that time the patient freezes and is not able to do that particular thing. So that's what something is apraxia. And then when we noticed this, that mobility wise the patient was sound, he was able to do all the movements, but whenever he was asked to perform a task, he used to get stuck. He used to find it very difficult, and that's how we find out he is having some sort of ideomotor apraxia and limb kinetic apraxia. And that's when we took the occupational therapist on board for the rehab of the patient, and togetherly we worked towards his motor planning and execution, and finally we could make him back to his previous lifestyle and work. So that was that time we really definitely thought of this case individually, if we would have handled, it would not have given that good result. So always when a patient is recovered, it's a gain for us in this profession. So definitely I believe that always we should see to it that referrals should be made on the correct time to the correct person.
How do physiotherapists, how would you contribute to improving the cognitive functions of patients alongside speech and occupational therapists?
Coming to the question, definitely when first I'll talk individually what a physiotherapist can do for cognitive rehab, and then how combinedly we can work towards the cognitive rehab, or what are the roles which a speech language pathologist plays and what are the role that an occupational therapist plays into it. So when we talk about a physiotherapist, it's physical exercises which is proven to increase the neuroplasticity, increase the blood flow of the cerebral cortex, as well as working on dual tasking, which has movement as well as cognitive thoughts coming in. For an example, if I say while I'm walking with a tray of water, I'm supposed to repeat or backward count something, or I am supposed to talk to someone when I'm walking. These are some examples of dual tasking. When we are discussing something major while walking and talking, these are all dual tasking. So definitely physiotherapist with the help of physical exercises plus incorporating means movement as well as cognitively loading the patient is how we work with the cognitive things for our patient. And definitely there is a motor cognitive connection. So any complex movement will enhance your executive function. And coming to the second part of it that you had asked was working with a speech language pathologist. So when we talk about speech language pathologist, actually what they do with the cognition is they are working more towards cognitive linguistic skills. For an example, if I say for a patient, they would be dealing with 2 plus 2 is what? What have you ate in the morning? So memory, calculation abilities, but in terms of language, what they answer. So retraining about that becomes the part with speech language pathologist. While contrary, when I say about the physical therapist, it is combining verbal task with the motor task. So considering the same example, what we would be doing is I would put marks on the floor. For an example, I have put 4, 5, 8, 10, and then I'll ask my patient that 2 plus 2 is what? Whatever is the answer, kindly go to that number, walk to that number. So I am combining cognitive task along with the movement. So it is something combination of cognitive also. So the patient has to work on the calculation, or if I want to work on the attention, I would say the person that whenever whatever I'm speaking and whenever the word two comes, you will start walking. So he or she has to be very attentive, and it will improve their attention and concentration skills. So speech language pathologist in the same manner will be dealing with language skills with cognition. Physiotherapist will be dealing with movement along with cognition. Um, that's how both are working towards gaining cognitive abilities in the patient. Next, focusing towards, if we talk about occupational therapist with the same example, occupational therapists, they will be working more towards getting the patient or working on their activities of daily living. So if we take the same example that we have taken with the speech language pathologist, so occupational therapist may set a setup or a simulation where a patient is going in the market to do a grocery shopping and has certain amount, or will have to do some, deal with the vendor and everything. So they will simulate a task or a real life scenario, and they will work with the patient in that real life scenario. So here, when we are training a patient with movement, some cognitive things, they are taking it forward towards the real life scenario. I hope that's clear with what are the different roles and how we can combine things and work on a patient's movement as well as cognition together, with individual having an individual role. Taking your this thing into account, it's not only about occupational therapist, physiotherapist, or speech language pathologist. We do need multiple people on board with it. Psychologists also even do play a very important role. So if I may talk about, one of our patient, again, I would say, when we noticed that it was their relatives, they're over helping the patient, and the patient was gradually becoming very stubborn and was not able to follow the commands. He used to not exercise, while on the contrary, he has the capacity, but he was not able to perform things because of some other factor. So that was the time, and even he was finding it, he was having speech aphasia also, where we say the patient is not able to speak. So with that person, we had on board speech therapist, we had psychologist along with us on the team, and we physiotherapist plus neurophysician on board. So togetherly we collaborated for that patient, because there was a much need for him for a psychological counseling, along with him his family members. So actually he was a shopkeeper, so he was his cognition was a bit affected, but not to a great extent. He was able to calculate, but he was not able to speak that particular thing. So he was finding it very difficult to express himself. And that's how what happened is the family members took over that particular thing. So whenever he used to try to say something, they used to speak on behalf of him. And then we realized that always if they will be speaking on behalf of him, he will never learn to speak again. So we called upon the speech therapist, and we actually let the relatives and the patient know that you are in very much need of a speech therapist, so that your speech improves. And we have to break this circle of every time the relatives intervening in between. We counseled, I mean, the psychologist counseled the relatives as well as the patient. Speech therapist was working on the language skills, and we were working on the cognition as well as movement skills. And finally, he was a shopkeeper, and we made him go back to his shop, though with some assistance. But definitely, we had seen to it that he was going to his shop, whatever way he can contribute to his shop. So when you are in a real life scenario, you are challenged more, and gradually, finally, he gained the abilities that he can work in his shop on the counter as well as deal with the person visiting the shop with some assistance with respect to movement, but rest, the team was able to achieve it for him.
What kind of challenges do you face, and how do you overcome barriers to effective collaboration?
Talking about barriers and with respect to collaboration, uh, I think there are some barriers, but to be very honest, at our setup, because we already have the team on board, we don't find it that difficult. But when I talk to my colleagues and when we do some sort of research projects with students and others as well, we find out that first of all, awareness in terms of, we know that there is speech language pathologist, there is occupational therapist, there is a psychologist, there are nursing cares which is required for the rehab purpose, or in a rehab team there is a stroke unit which has everyone on board on it. But what is the role of each and every individual? For example, vocational rehab, social workers, what is the role of them? So I think people know it somewhat theoretically, but very clearly what is the defined role, what are the points which needs to be taken into account for referral. And I think there's some barrier to find out this is what specifically we need these people for, because they work with this specific thing. So I think even for therapists also, this knowledge is very important, as well as patients also. What happens is when we ask our patients, this is what we had faced, I would say. When we ask our patient ki you need psychological counseling or you need to consult a speech language pathologist, their reply is something that we are coming here for therapy every day now. Kindly take care of everything. Then it's become difficult for us to explain them that please, every individual have their own expertise. The roles are different, and you require everyone for your recovery. So I think that are the challenges, but nevertheless, I hope gradually people will understand that particular thing, and things will turn out to be good.
Thank you for addressing these questions, Doctor, and for sharing your expertise with us today. I believe that the insights shared with us have provided us with valuable knowledge and practical strategies that are applicable in the field. Here at 2050 Healthcare, it is our goal to provide a holistic and patient-centered rehabilitation plan that works through a smooth collaboration of our specialists. As we conclude, we encourage you to stay connected with us for future events, ongoing discussions, and opportunities for collaboration. Thank you once again for being an integral part of the 2050 healthcare community, with you in every step of healing.